Hello, welcome to today's Talk of the Town. I'm Sandy Benson. Our first guest today, Veit, event coordinator with Melrose on the Beach, shares the wonderful response to this year's 5th annual Marsh Tacky Beach races held on Daufuskie Island, and also some information about the seagrass stables at Melrose on the Beach. Erica, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. So what's the history of the Marsh Tacky, and why was this year's beach races so significant?
Well, the Marsh Tacky horse is a unique, it's a cherished, it's an endangered breed that survived and thrived on the barrier islands of the Low Country. They were thought to have been abandoned by the Spanish in the 1500s, where, like I said, they thrived until they were eventually domesticated by Gullah plantation and Native American settlers. They were designated the South Carolina State Heritage Horse in 2010 for their contributions to transportation, agricultural, and wartime efforts. However, these days, the number of the Marsh Tacky has dwindled. There are around about 300 horses.
So they considered endangered?
They are. So that's one reason. The second reason is because this event was, they say, the largest special event in the history of Daufuskie Island.
Almost 1,200 people attended, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
That's
correct.
Awesome. That's awesome. So how did you become involved in planning this special event?
Well, I hired on full-time with the resort last July, so I've almost been there for a year, starting at their equestrian center, and we really hit the ground running. We do lessons, we do boarding, we do our beach rides, we also do trail rides, carriage rides, hay rides, and that's where I started. In the winter months, I moved more into marketing, and our very first conversation about the races occurred around the holidays, Christmas, and our very first meeting was February. So we really had 90 days to plan the event from scratch and to execute it, and so it's so successful for that reason.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So who were the key event organizers that you worked with to make this such a success?
Well, I just want to say thanks first and foremost to Jackie McFadden, Carolina Marsh Tacky Association Secretary. She coordinated with that board of directors and then worked directly with me. Of course, Jim Sheed, his commitment to the project was superior, and Wick Scurry, Calabogie Cruises, Roger Pickney. Those were, I think, the key organizers, of course, Mr. D.P. Lowther as well.
Who were the sponsors and vendors for this year's race that contributed to the success?
Well, and if it wasn't for their support, it wouldn't have been as great as it was. We had the Binya Foundation, of course, they contributed a lot, and we had Accurate Lithography, did a great job with all of our printing, our programming. And we had RBC Enterprises, Oceanfront Residence Club, Andy Mason, Daufuskie Properties Realty, Jackie McFadden Photography. A lot of support.
Yeah, really a lot of
Big
support.
Kahuna T-shirt, signs, and apparel. They had a lot to do with it too.
That's awesome. So, do you think the Marsh Tacky Beach races will come back to Daufuskie next year?
We do, and we're very enthusiastic about planning for next year's. Of course,
more than a 90-day plan now.
We're looking forward to having that much time to plan the next. We've learned a lot through this process, and we're looking forward to building upon our lessons and taking full advantage of that year's time. To plan. We haven't had our official 2014 committee meeting yet, but we really are looking forward to doing it again next year.
That's awesome. So the transportation, things like that, everything went smooth, because that's always been one of the
all things considered. Yeah, absolutely. And that's definitely one thing that we'll look at making more accessible for next year is our ferry transportation. But like I said, the turnout was great.
Yeah, and so you had events the evening of, the morning of, and then the evening after.
We did. The horses barged over in the morning on Friday. We had a Daufuskie Island Elementary School field trip. We did a silent auction fundraiser, which, by the way, we raised $2,500 for the nonprofit
terrific.
Carolina Marsh Tacky Association. Thank you so much to all of our silent auction supporters.
Absolutely.
We did a breakfast meet and greet the horses in the morning. There was a parade. There was a tacky hat contest.
Yeah.
The races ran from 2 to 4.
And then afterwards there was a big, there was a band and just a get together.
After parties all over the island.
Yeah,
so it was a great weekend.
Well, hopefully next year will be bigger and better, and thank you so much for working on it.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back with Talk of the Town.